How is it going, everybody? Today I bring you the full story of What If Future Vegeta Survived. This series was the very first of my channel to start off with, and at first it is going to seem extremely cringy because I fucking sound like a teenager. Well, that's because I am, but that's besides the point. I'm very glad on the progress of this series, and I can't wait to make more content like this. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, as it encourages me to make more content like this. And with that out of the way, let me just shut up so then you guys can watch my first ever series, What If Future Vegeta Survived. Please enjoy. It's after Goku has defeated both Mecha Frieza and King Cold, and things become peaceful until Goku dies to a heart virus. Before Goku dies, Gohan gets there and Goku tells Gohan that now the Earth is in his hands and to keep it safe. Gohan is very upset, but now he understands that he needs to step up in his father's place. Gohan then asks Vegeta if he can train him, and Vegeta accepts, making Gohan his pupil or punching bag. During this time, Bulma gives birth to Trunks, and she makes a gravity machine for Vegeta to train Gohan in. This makes them very strong, and they are able to go Super Saiyan. One day, as they are training, Dr. Gero activates his androids, androids 17 and 18. All of the Z fighters arrive, with Gohan stepping up to face one of the androids. Gohan faces off against 17, while Gohan's friends watch as Vegeta tells them to stay back. Gohan would start off by facing 18, and he would transform into Super Saiyan, and would have a relaxed battle, with the battle being quite equal. Gohan would see that his power might not be enough, so he powers up even more with him not holding back. Gohan's muscles then swell up, and he powers up into Super Saiyan Grade 2. Gohan and Vegeta would be able to achieve this, as Gohan would be committed to his training. Plus his hybrid potential would help out more training potential. Gohan would then go in full force and punch a hole straight through 18's stomach, like he did with Bojack in that movie. 17 would then jump in, but Vegeta would stop him, and the two would begin to fight. Gohan would then destroy 18, and he would let Vegeta spar against 17. With 17 witnessing his sister's death, he would lash out at Vegeta, resulting with him breaking Vegeta's arm. 17 would continually beat on Vegeta in a fit of rage, which would get the rest of the group to jump in. Gohan would get a senzu bean from Piccolo, and the group would be able to defeat 17. With 17 defeated and seeing that he is cornered, he pleads for his life, and this makes Gohan a bit sympathetic, which gives 17 the perfect moment to fire blast to the ground as a diversion. 17 tries to run away, but Vegeta gets a senzu bean and kills 17 off with a big bang attack. With Gohan and Vegeta taking the win, they ensure that Earth is saved, and as the Earth is saved, so is the future, meaning that they won't have to go back in time. With Earth being safe and Vegeta not losing his pride, Gohan and Vegeta continue to train as they use the Dragon Balls to restore the damage done to Earth. Sadly, during this time, they aren't able to revive Goku, as he fell to natural causes. 7 years pass, with Vegeta continuing to train Gohan. Gohan would ask Vegeta why he kept on training him, with Vegeta saying that Saiyans have no limits, but inside, Vegeta has a built-up sense of mixed emotions. His rival was now gone, and he should be happy as he has a wife and son, but he feels a huge burden as he didn't get to defeat Goku. With these emotions, Vegeta would train himself to the brink to get rid of these mixed emotions. It's not fit for a prince to be acting so premature. Vegeta would train himself so hard for 7 years to the point he would push further beyond the limits of Super Saiyan, and he would be able to reach Super Saiyan 3. Instead of turning away the form, he would push himself to try and master the useless power-up. Gohan during this time would continue to train, but he would also study to prepare for school. Gohan during this period would be at the top of his game. He got to train, study, and help out with Trunks. Gohan would be able to get Super Saiyan 2 and would be second best to Vegeta. Whenever Gohan would be stressed, he would possibly join Piccolo in meditation. Piccolo would continue to train with Gohan, with the student impressing Piccolo. Piccolo would merge back with Kami, as they wouldn't have to during this time period. Kami would soon see that his years as the Guardian would soon disappear. Kami at one point asked Piccolo, but Piccolo would deny, so Kami would have to hatch a new plan. Maybe if he was young again, he would be a better use to the Earth, so Kami one year uses the Dragon Balls to make him younger, or in his prime. Kami would continue to train himself again with Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu. As Gohan begins to go to high school, he would become the Great Saiyaman as usual. Videl, the daughter of Mr. Satan, would eventually catch on to this. How would Hercule get the credit, you may be asking? With Hercule's stupid luck, he'd possibly be the hero who would have put a stop to those killer androids. Or that's at least what he would probably tell the media, which they would probably buy. Hercule would contain his world champion title and have a city in favor of his name. Gohan would get blackmailed by Videl to join in the tournament, so Gohan would have to join. One day, Gohan helps Videl maintain her ki, and surprisingly, Vegeta also helps alongside Trunks. Vegeta helps get Videl up to speed with Gohan, but she wouldn't be anywhere near Gohan's strength at all. Videl would at least be as strong as the current Z fighters. One day, two strange individuals come to Capsule Corp, with Bulma bringing them to Vegeta. These people are Shin and Kibito. Shin and Kibito inform Vegeta about the arrival of Babidi and how he wants to revive Majin Buu. Vegeta would then go to train with the Kais in the other world, with Vegeta easily being able to pull out the Z-Sword. During his time in the other world, a certain individual would recognize Vegeta's energy and would teleport to where Vegeta is located. This individual would be none other than Son Goku. Vegeta would immediately demand that they have a match against each other, with Goku and Vegeta finally being able to duke it out. Goku would be surprised to find out that Vegeta has Super Saiyan 3 as well, and that he has got good control over it. In the end, Goku would win the match, as Super Saiyan 3 would still be a struggle for Vegeta to control. Vegeta would eventually tell Goku about the situation of Earth and how there's a tournament. Vegeta would eventually get in contact with fortune teller Baba, telling her to bring Goku back to the tournament. After Bulma bribes Baba with money, she agrees, and on the day of the tournament, everyone has a nice reunion with Goku. After the reunion, Vegeta and everyone join the tournament. The roster remains the same, and everything goes as normal. When Spopovich arrives, Videl is actually able to defeat him, even with his Majin possession. When it comes to the Gohan battle, his Super Saiyan 2 would rival that of Team Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 from the Cell Saga in canon. The Majin servants would still take Gohan's energy, and it would be able to go to 80% for Buu. This time, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu join the fighters on the hunt for Babidi. When they arrive, Vegeta catches the boar's hand before he kills Kibito, and he kicks the boar away. Vegeta then fights the boar, with him being able to knock the boar out, so then he wouldn't give off too much energy. The group then head inside as they go through Babidi's minions easily. Babidi begins to panic, and as he looks for someone to possess, he begins to look for people, and surprisingly, he finds Vegeta not worthy. If Vegeta wouldn't be able to have his match with Goku in the other world, he possibly would have been able to possess him, but Vegeta already got his rematch. Soon enough, they would find Babidi, and they would easily dispose of him. With them killing Babidi, Shin and Kibito take it to Whis for Beerus to destroy, and of course the hearing of Beerus would scare Vegeta. They would then ask about Dabura and what to do with him, so Vegeta just destroys Dabora's body. With this, they get back to the tournament, and they continue the tournament. Now, with the Kais having to bring Buu's egg to Beerus' planet, this is going to have some big changes, with that revolving around Beerus waking up early in the future timeline. As you can already tell, this future timeline is way better than the canon version, and Beerus and Whis didn't even be able to survive in the future timeline, mainly because Shin was killed. There are many theories of why Beerus didn't wake up in, the time he was supposed to. That being, he went to Broly, that means he didn't care about Earth, or just many other reasons, but that's another topic for another day. Just that in this timeline, he's going to be waking up on time, thanks to Shin dropping off Boo's egg. For the rest of the tournament, Goku gets to fight Gohan, but in the end, he wins, with him then going against Vegeta. Their battle sends shockwaves and goes on with the two going at unimaginable speeds. The match would end in a draw, as if it were to continue, the people in the stands wouldn't be in the stands anymore. In the end, it's Hercule who takes the prize as he one-punches Goku and Vegeta out of the ring. The crowd goes wild, with Videl cringing to her father. After the tournament, Bulma sets up a feast at Castle Court for Goku and Vegeta for stopping Boo. After the party, Goku heads back to Otherworld. Goku then thanks Vegeta and Gohan and asks them to continue training, as Goku intends to pass his limits. With the help of the Kais, of course. Vegeta, Gohan, and Videl may continue to train, as Trunks would then begin to join them. Time passes, with Vegeta starting to ramp up his training after hearing of Beerus again. Gohan would continue to train with Videl, but would slack with Vegeta as he would think it would be peacetime finally. One day, as Goku is training on King Kai's planet, Beerus arrives and spars with Goku, resulting into a brutal shoulder tap. King Kai would then tell Vegeta about Beerus' arrival, and Vegeta would be surprised to hear this. Vegeta would actually be at Bulma's party, and he would tell King Kai if Beerus wants a fight, then he's got one. Vegeta won't want to worry Bulma, as it is her birthday, and in this story, they have gotten even closer than expected. With them being able to be closer, Vegeta and Bulma would have a second child, but this time, Bulma would let Vegeta pick a royal Saiyan name. Vegeta would name his daughter, or soon-to-come daughter, Paita. Now I know it's a little dumb to be going on with like a little fan fiction name, and the only reason I did this is because in this story, Future Vegeta would, survive, resulting into a better future. And, I think they would him and Bulma would have a child a little early on. And honestly, they don't ever go over saying names, so I kind of just used the surrounding name of Potato. And then I just kind of somehow turn that into Paita. I'm kind of just rambling right now, so if you don't care about what I'm talking about, don't even worry about it. Beerus would soon enough arrive at the party, and things would go nicely, as Boo wasn't there to screw things up. During the party, the Pilaf gang show up, and Trunks shows off to his dad his girlfriend. Pilaf gang would shoot the Grey Saiyaman, which he would deflect the bullets, which wouldn't hit Videl, as she would dodge one of the bullets, and scold Gohan about letting kids use guns. Unfortunately, one of the bullets hits Beerus right on his forehead, causing Beerus to get upset. Vegeta and Gohan would then charge in, taking on Beerus, with Beerus being impressed with Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3, but the two would still fall. Beerus would then attempt to destroy the planet until everyone hears Goku's voice. Goku then explains to the group that Beerus is looking for the Super Saiyan God, and that they should use the Dragon Balls to find out about the Super Saiyan God. After giving Beerus some pudding, the group gathers the Dragon Balls, and they hear about the God ritual. Vegeta then looks over to see that there are only 3 Saiyans. Bulma and Videl then step in, revealing their pregnancies, which then makes 5 Saiyans. Vegeta would think to get Goku, but it would be unlikely that Baba would accept. Vegeta would then ask Beerus if they can get his brother, which Whis allows. Whis then arrives with Tarbell and his wife. With everyone meeting Tarbell, they all do the ritual once more, and they make Vegeta into a Super Saiyan God. Vegeta then battles Beerus, with their battle taking it all the way to space. In the end, Vegeta would absorb the God Ki, and Beerus then would say that he's going to destroy the planet. With Vegeta out of energy, Gohan tries to battle Beerus, which wasn't Beerus' intent. He was just gonna fake it. Beerus would then amuse himself with fighting Gohan, but he would see that Gohan is extremely resilient. Beerus then smacks Gohan down to the earth, but as Gohan gets up, Beerus taunts him, saying that he's no Super Saiyan God, so he has no chance. Gohan would then burst out with energy, and that would blow everyone back. Gohan, at the thought of losing a chance to be a father, would power into a Super Saiyan rage form. Beerus gets surprised by this and increase of power, and Gohan begins to face Beerus. Gohan lets all of his rage out on Beerus, which gives Beerus a good workout. In the end, Beerus just flicks Gohan away, and then he does his act again, and he falls asleep. Whis then takes him home. Vegeta would then ask his brother if he would like to stay on Earth with his wife, and Cabba would actually agree, saying that it's been too long, and now that his brother is actually a pretty cool guy, why not just stay? Time passes with Vegeta training with Cabba and Gohan on Beerus' planet. Trunks would ask to go, but Vegeta would deny, as he would want his son to become stronger first. Before going to Beerus' planet, they do the ritual with Cabba, but not Gohan, since he would want to perfect his Super Saiyan rage. When training, both Vegeta and Cabba would be able to discover Super Saiyan Blue, but it would be harder for Cabba, as he never got Super Saiyan for himself. The three would continue to train themselves, with Frieza coming back to life, and training to get his own golden form. Chaco then arrives one day, and gathers all the fighters. Frieza's forces arrive, and Piccolo, Kami, Trunks, Tien, Krillin, Jocko, and Master Roshi would be there. As time passed on, Trunks began to train with Kami, as Kami has his youth, and Kami would go into the time chamber with Trunks. Sorbet then sends out his soldiers, and they are all taken out very quickly. Frieza would soon enough emerge from his seat, and as an act of fear, he punches Trunks so hard to the point he stops breathing. Soon enough, Vegeta and the others arrive. Before Vegeta would have left, Bulma would give Vegeta a phone that would connect all the way to Earth, no matter how far. Okay, I'm pretty sure Bulma would be able to create something like this, because, she made dragon radars for planet-sized orbs, to Blood's wave cannons, to make Saiyans into giant golden great apes. Doesn't really seem that hard. First, Vegeta allows Gohan to face Frieza, as Gohan wants to show his father. Gohan would then face Frieza, with Frieza powering up into his final form. Vegeta and Cabba would watch from the sidelines for the time being. Soon enough, Gohan would show off his Super Saiyan rage, as Frieza would power up into Golden Frieza. Thanks to his training with Whis, Gohan's power would be equal to Golden Frieza's. Soon enough, Vegeta would find out about Frieza's weakness, and would tell Gohan to tag out with him. Vegeta then jumps in as a Super Saiyan Blue, and charges towards Frieza. Vegeta would then beat Frieza out of his golden form, and before he would finish off Frieza, he would get shot in the back by Sorbet, which would make him collapse. Frieza would then begin to torture Vegeta until he would get a roundhouse kick from Cabba. Frieza would get sent to a mountain, and Cabba would fire out a blast straight at Sorbet and killing him. Cabba would then power up into his own Super Saiyan Blue. Frieza then gets demolished by Cabba, as Krillin gives Vegeta a sensu beam. Vegeta then watches how his brother brings Frieza to his knees. Cabba then prepares to finish Frieza, but hesitates, and Frieza uses this moment to destroy the planet. Before the planet gets destroyed, Whis protects everyone, and they stay in a void space. Vegeta burst out in anger that he should have known Frieza would pull a fast one. Whis would then come up, saying about how he can reverse time. Whis then reverses time, and Vegeta jumps in and blasts Cabba away, and fires a final flash. The attack disintegrates Frieza, and after Vegeta finishes, he blasts away the rest of the Frieza ships. Cabba would question his brother, with Vegeta then saying that he forgot to finish him off. They then have a party with Gohan then staying on Earth with Videl and Pan. Vegeta would also take some time off to have some time with his family. All the Z fighters would take some time off, but Vegeta would soon enough take Turbo back to training. During their training, Champa arrives while Vegeta and Turbo train. As they are all eating ramen, Champa and Vados pop in with Turbo greeting the two politely. They would then discuss a tournament after Beerus wakes up, and they would head back to Earth. Vegeta and Turbo would recruit Gohan. Gohan would say that he has things going on at his work, but Vegeta just drags him into it. Gohan would then recruit Piccolo and Videl as the two have been training with him. Vegeta would ask Trunks, but would then notice how Trunks is devoting himself to his training with Kami. Before they head to the tournament, Vegeta takes Turbo in the time chamber with him as Gohan doesn't want to age that much. In the chamber, Vegeta discovers a new level of power. With this team of 5, they head to the nameless planet. Vegeta and Turbo would meet Cabba, with Turbo being a little suspicious about Cabba. He looks a lot like him. What is this little duplicate? Anyways, after a test and a bit of chit chat, the first round goes to Vegeta as he faces Batamo and easily wins. The next round would be Vegeta up against Frost, and Vegeta doesn't hold back as he doesn't trust Frost's good nature. Since Frost loses, he grows a massive grudge as he staged an act and still got defeated. Frost promises himself if he ever sees Vegeta again, he will have revenge. Champa would be pissed that Vegeta would defeat 2 of his fighters so easily, so he would bend the rules to change Vegeta to go last instead, and if the ref didn't want to listen, he could just give it a Hide. Up next is Videl vs Vegeta, and she has a brutal battle, but she never intends to quit, so she keeps fighting until an insult leaves her lips, which causes Vegeta to collapse, and with the rest of Videl's strength, she pushes Vegeta out of the ring. After that battle, Videl would be exhausted, and Gohan would jump in to give her a senzu bean. After everyone congratulates Videl, Piccolo steps into the ring, and he faces off against Cabba. Piccolo and Cabba would be on par with each other, as Piccolo has been training with Gohan more often. Vegeta would become impatient as he would expect Cabba to transform and give Piccolo a challenge, but that moment never comes. Before Piccolo knocks out Cabba, Vegeta yells for Piccolo to stop and demands Cabba to transform into a Super Saiyan already. Cabba would then reply that he doesn't have that form, so Vegeta would throw down 2 senzu beans to the fighters, which heals both of them. The ref would be super pissed by this, but Beerus and Champa would threaten him if he tries anything. As Piccolo and Cabba would begin to fight again, Vegeta would describe the feeling of letting your rage awaken, and Cabba would begin to glow. Piccolo would then turn up the heat by making dozens of copies of himself, and he would begin to totally mess up Cabba. Vegeta then gives Piccolo a sign to amp things up a little more emotionally, so Piccolo then states to Cabba that he is a demon, and that if he wasn't given a proper fight, he'd destroy everyone Cabba loves. With this, Cabba would transform into a Super Saiyan, and would begin to destroy the Piccolo clones one by one, until Piccolo would stop hiding and fire a special beam cannon straight for Cabba, but Cabba merely deflects it and gut punches Piccolo out of the arena. Vegeta would be surprised as well as Turbo. The next match would be between Gohan and Cabba, and Gohan will allow Cabba to power up into Super Saiyan, and Gohan would do the same. Gohan would eventually show Cabba Super Saiyan 2, and with that power, he would eliminate Cabba. Cabba would be fascinated and would further progress with his power. The next match would be Gohan against Hit, and Gohan would witness Hit's time skip ability firsthand. Gohan would be brutally beaten, but just like his wife, he would continue to fight until he would power up into Super Saiyan Rage. Gohan would begin to give Hit a challenge, as Gohan would begin to adapt to Hit's time skip. Gohan would continue to face Hit, with Hit showing that he doesn't rely on his killer instinct, and this would begin to confuse Gohan, as Hit would switch from defense to time skip, just like he did with Dispo. Turbo would be up next, and Turbo would begin to get the advantage over Hit as he would continue to keep Hit on his toes. Tarble would then fire a fierce Bengala gun, which Hit would catch with his 2 hands. Before it engulfs him, Hit powers up and kicks it straight into the sky. Piccolo would then be surprised, as Hit would have been able to improve, and Hit would then gain the advantage, putting Tarble in a tough spot. Soon enough, Tarble would be knocked out to Hit's rapid improvements. Vegeta would then smirk, as Hit just took out 2 of their strongest fighters, which would give him a good opportunity to use his new power. Vegeta would then enter the ring, and he would power up into Super Saiyan Blue, stating that he's the Prince of all Saiyans of Universe 7, and that Hit has no chance against him. Hit would then smirk to this, as he would state that he's over 1,000 years old. The two would smirk at each other, and they would begin to battle with each other, with their clashes making fierce shockwaves. Hit would be surprised how Vegeta would be able to instantly adapt to his time skip, and Hit would begin to be beaten by Vegeta's brutal punches. Hit would use time skip, but Vegeta would counter it, which would surprise everyone. Vegeta gets ready to finish Hit until he gets a brutal gut punch, which brings Vegeta to his knees. The ref would begin a countdown, but before he would hit 0, Vegeta's aura would ignite, with Hit looking back to see Vegeta slowly standing up. Vegeta would then state, "I didn't say I'm done," with a smirk. Hit would get surprised, but he would smirk as he would watch how Vegeta's blue aura would begin to fill the arena. Champa would order Hit to fight back, but Hit would just watch, with a smirk on his face the whole time. Vegeta's aura would then begin to darken, as it would begin to steam off his body, with his muscles bulging up, as he would begin to transform into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Vegeta would instantly charge in and begin to hammer down on Hit, with Hit's time skip not even being able to keep up with Vegeta's speed. Vegeta would then fire a massive final flash straight at Hit, which this time he wouldn't be able to counter, and he would be eliminated, with Vegeta being the victor. Vegeta would then power down, and Hit would congratulate Vegeta for the fight, and one day they should have a rematch without any rules holding them back. Vegeta would agree, as the two would shake on it. Beerus would then use the Super Dragon Balls to wish for Champa's Earth to come back, and then they would all head home. In a distant universe, Akai watches the match between Vegeta and Hit, and would be infuriated with the mortals. This Kai would be none other than Zamasu. Before the group leaves the Tournament of Destroyers, they would have an encounter with Zeno, with him suggesting a new tournament that would involve all of the universes, with Vegeta loving the idea, and him and Tarble would befriend Zeno. After that, they would head back to Earth. Meanwhile, in Universe 10, Zamasu watches how Vegeta would be making a mockery of the gods, and he would advise a plan. One day, on Beerus' planet, Vegeta's body changes into Zamasu's, with Vegeta getting very confused. Beerus and Whis would recognize this of Akai. Beerus would then tell Whis that they should investigate, but as they prepare to leave, Beerus starts to disappear. Vegeta would then become very confused until he would see himself right in front of him. Tarble would then protect his brother from this imposter. Vegeta Black would then charge in at Tarble, with Tarble being pushed back. Tarble would be pushed back as Vegeta Black would continue to face Tarble. Tarble would power up into his Super Saiyan 2, as he wouldn't want to hurt his brother's body. Vegeta would soon enough call Bulma, and she would tell Gohan and the others to gather the Dragon Balls. Gohan and the others find the Dragon Balls, and soon enough, wish for Vegeta to regain his body. As Vegeta Black would be close to destroying Tarble, he turns back into his old body, and becomes very confused, but that confusion is turned to fear, as he gets a punch straight through his gut by Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Vegeta wouldn't wait a second to kill this imposter, as he wouldn't let Zamasu stay alive for taking his body. Soon enough, The Angel of Universe 10 apologizes and thanks for their help as the God of Destruction and Kais were brought back to life. She also heals Tarble in gratitude. Vegeta tells the Angel to get things straight in their universe in anger. Yeah, that's why Zamasu is not in the thumbnail. Now we can move on to the Tournament of Power arc. Vegeta would then continue to train with Tarble until one day he just stops, and Beerus and Whis get suspicious of this. One day they make a trip to Earth, and they see that Vegeta and Bulma are taking care of Paita. Vegeta would notice that Whis and Beerus would be there, and they would request that he'd like to train, but he puts it down as he needs to help out with Bulma. Bulma would be surprised, or Beerus would be surprised, but before they would leave, they get a message from the Grand Priest announcing the Tournament of Power. Whis would then tell Vegeta about the tournament and how there would be an Zen exhibition match, and Vegeta is ready to decline, but Bulma tells him that Father Time could take a break. Vegeta would go to get Gohan and Tarble until he's stopped by Trunks. Trunks declares to his father that he deserves to fight and prove himself, with this making Vegeta smirk as he accepts. Vegeta would notice how his son has come a long way with his training as he is noticeably stronger. He takes Trunks and Tarble to the exhibition. When they arrive, the Grand Priest would explain how the tournament would go and how universes would be destroyed in the process. The first round would be Tarble against Basil, and Tarble would win against Basil after he would use the drug. Trunks would then go up next, as he would show off his training and show off his Super Saiyan 2. Trunks would begin to pummel Lavender until Lavender would use his poison. Trunks would be shocked by the poison technique, and Trunks would begin to struggle as Lavender would keep firing poison at him. Trunks would push through the poison and show off his true power and powering up into a Super Saiyan 3, and this would eliminate Lavender. Vegeta would be impressed, as well as proud of his son for pushing past his limits. Vegeta would then jump in and face off against Bergamo. Vegeta would power up from Super Saiyan and then to Super Saiyan God, as Bergamo would continue to expand. The gods would be surprised to see a mortal using God Ki and watch as Vegeta would demolish Bergamo. Vegeta would soon enough stop playing around with Bergamo and would show off Super Saiyan Blue, and he would eliminate Bergamo with a final flash. Topo would then challenge Vegeta, and Vegeta would of course take up Topo's challenge. Vegeta would have a bit of a tough time and a tough battle until he would show off his Super Saiyan Blue to Topo. The Grand Priest would soon enough end the battle before things would become too extreme, with the universes going to recruit fighters. Vegeta would tell Gohan straight up about the tournament, and they would recruit fighters. Gohan would get Piccolo, Kami, Videl, Krillin, and Tien. They would see that they need one more fighter, and Vegeta would get an idea. Vegeta would then ask Kami to bring him to the afterlife, and the two would go. Soon enough, the two would go to King Kai's planet and would ask for Goku, but Goku would actually be training in the realm of the Kais. King Kai would call down for Goku, and Goku would appear in front of the two, but he would seem different. He had red fur, and his eyes would be yellow. Goku is a Super Saiyan 4. Goku explains that during his time in the afterlife, after Buu, he would begin to train with the Kais, and Elder Kai would have helped Goku achieve Super Saiyan 4, like in GT, by pulling his tail out once again. Elder Kai would ask Goku during his training if he would like to unleash his hidden potential, but Goku would deny it, since he wouldn't have to train to get the power. In Goku's eyes, Super Saiyan 4 was the better route. Goku would then make power moons and would train his Grade 8 form until one day he would come across the Golden Grade 8, which would result into the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. After witnessing the form, Goku would train relentlessly to master the form. Vegeta becomes excited to see his rival has not slacked off a bit, and they begin to battle. Vegeta powers up into Super Saiyan God and begins to face Goku, and Vegeta gets surprised to see that Goku would be able to keep up the entire time. Vegeta would then show off Super Saiyan Blue, which would surprise Goku, but at the same time, impress him. Goku would then power up, adding even higher levels, with Vegeta being very confused until Goku would reveal that during his training after mastering Super Saiyan 4 form, he would try to keep Super Saiyan 4 as a base, so as they battle, Goku doesn't lose much stamina as he powers up. Vegeta and Goku would continue to clash until Vegeta would power up into Super Saiyan Blue evolution, and this would make Goku begin to struggle. As they go in for one more clash, Kami yells for the two to stop, as they have to return to Earth soon for the tournament. After getting approval from Baba, they would bring Goku to Earth, and they would have a reunion buffet mainly suggested by Beerus. Goku would train with Gohan, and Vegeta would take Trunks into the gravity chamber in the meantime. After everyone would train a bit, and stuff their bellies to the max, they would all head to the tournament, but before they would leave, Elder Kai would give his earrings to Goku for just in case. When they'd arrive, Goku would befriend Zeno, with Beerus almost pissing himself with Goku's rudeness. Cabba would meet back up with Vegeta and Tarble and would explain that he has been training and that he's been training with his new friends, Kale and Caulifla. After the tournament of destroyers, Cabba would have sought further training from his master Renzo, but due to his injury, Cabba would have gone to train with Kale and Caulifla, and due to the prodigies they are, I believe that Cabba and Caulifla would have gone past Super Saiyan 2. This also means that Kale would have unlocked her controlled legendary Super Saiyan form, but only the first one, as Kale never needed to go higher than she already was. Vegeta and Goku would be surprised with this group, as they are very strong, and Goku would be bummed to know that he missed the tournament. The Universe 7 team would go as such: Vegeta, Trunks, Tarble, Goku, Gohan, Videl, Kami, Piccolo, Krillin, and Tien. Vegeta would be the strongest, but Gohan would be made the team captain of Universe 7, and Gohan would come up with the plan of staying together, with only Kami, Piccolo, Videl, Trunks, Krillin, and Tien listening. The tournament would begin, with Goku and Vegeta instantly leaving the group. Vegeta at one point would be surrounded by Universe 9's fighters, and would become overwhelmed until Goku would jump in. With Goku's aid, the two Saiyan rivals are able to take out all of Universe 9. Goku would then get approached by Caulifla and Kale, with Caulifla challenging him. The two would fight together, but Goku would still treat it as a training session. Kale and Caulifla would begin to get riled up, as their teamwork wouldn't be enough, so Caulifla would power up into her Super Saiyan 3. Goku would then stack his Super Saiyan 2 with his Kaioken and would show Caulifla the flaws of an unmastered form. Kale would try to help, but soon enough, Goku would have the two at the edge. Goku would then fire an attack to defeat the two, but before they get eliminated, the fusion Kefla jumps to the stage, surprising Goku. Kefla would begin to give Goku a hard time until Topo and the Pride Troopers would jump in. Goku and Caulifla would temporarily team up and would take out the 6 Pride Troopers with a combined attack. The fusion then would have left to rest, as Goku would continue his battles. Ribrianne would then fire off her love attack, and Trunks would then challenge Ribrianne, and he would begin to overpower her until Kakunsa would jump in. Kami would then jump in to help his student and would fight off Kakunsa. Tarble would be up against Rosie, and after he would power up into Super Saiyan, Rosie would be eliminated. Ribrianne and Kakunsa would be pissed from this and would unleash their rage on Trunks and Kami, which would result in Kami being eliminated. Trunks would see that he is by himself and would risk it all by transforming into Super Saiyan 3. Thanks to his bargain, he would eliminate the 2 of the love fighters. Trunks would fall to his knees, and then he would hear a voice asking if he's the prince's son. Trunks would get up quickly and would see that Frost has a sinister smile around his face. Trunks would get blasted through his arm from Frost, and Trunks would shout, "That's not what good guys do." Frost would then come clean and would say that in the past tournament, Vegeta humiliated him, so now he will have his revenge, and the best revenge is taking out his pitiful son. Trunks gets up and powers up into Super Saiyan, while Frost shows off his 100% form. The two go at it, with Trunks having a difficult battle, as he's nearly drained of his energy because of the Super Saiyan 3. Frost would then reveal to Trunks that, so he would never be humiliated again, he would train so no one would be able to face him, and Trunks' face drops as he watches Frost transform into a fifth form. Frost would then grab onto Trunks' face and begin to drag him through the ground of the arena, and would begin to release his anger out on Trunks. Gohan and Videl would feel this, and the two would head over to see Vegeta watching. Gohan would ask why Vegeta isn't doing anything, and Vegeta replies saying that he sensed that his son wants to finish his fight independently, so he won't jump in. Goku would also instant transmission in, and ask Vegeta if he should heal Trunks, with Vegeta just telling them all to shut up and watch. Trunks would then continue to get beaten, with even Champa looking in disgust, as Frost is mercilessly beating the boy. Frost would then grab onto Trunks, getting ready to throw him out of the ring, but before he would eliminate Trunks, he would promise Trunks that his father and his whole team would experience the same result as he did. With this, Trunks powers back up into his Super Saiyan 3 out of rage and begins to beat Frost, and soon enough, Trunks would eliminate Frost with a final flash. Frost would be pissed and would try to jump back in, but he would be erased. Goku would then go down to Trunks, congratulating him for beating Frost all by himself, and would heal Trunks. Soon enough, Belmont would tell Jiren to target Vegeta, and Vegeta would notice and jump into the fight. Jiren's pressure would surprise everyone, including Kefla, and Vegeta and Jiren would begin to battle, with Vegeta being beaten pretty bad until he would power up into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Vegeta would be startled by Jiren's attacks until soon enough, he countered Jiren, surprising everyone, and Vegeta would then go on the offense. Jiren would put in a bit of more power, but nothing close to his full power, and would begin to get the upper hand on Vegeta. Goku would jump down, but Vegeta would stop him as he wants to take Jiren out alone. So with all of Vegeta's strength, he fires his largest final flash, which takes Jiren by surprise. Jiren would hold back the blast, and in return would fire his own blast against the final flash. Vegeta would try his hardest, but soon enough, Jiren's power would overtake him. All of the fighters would then see a gigantic crater from where Vegeta was supposed to be, with Vegeta thinking he accidentally killed Vegeta, until the world of the void is surrounded by a white light, and a figure rising up from it. Goku and the others would be astonished to see Vegeta, but confused, as Vegeta would seem different. His eyes were glowing a silver color, and his body releasing a certain heat. Out of nowhere, Vegeta would attack Jiren at high speeds, which would make Jiren stumble. Vegeta and Jiren would have an intense battle, with Vegeta getting the upper hand until his Ultra Instinct would run out, with Goku rescuing Vegeta and healing him. Goku would then go to take on Jiren, but would then see that two figures would approach him, Hit and Kefla. Kefla would power up into her Super Saiyan, with her telling Hit not to get in the way, as Hit would tell her the same. Toppo and Dispo would then defend Jiren. Vegeta and Goku would watch, and the Namekians from Universe 6 would attempt to attack them until Gohan and Videl would defend the two. Gohan would power up into Super Saiyan, and the two would face the two Namekians. Kefla would go to attack Jiren, but Dispo would stop her and kick her away. Toppo would then take on Kefla, with Kefla telling him to get out of her way. Hit would begin to struggle, as Dispo and Kunshi's tag team would be hard to get out of until he tells Kefla to switch with him. Kefla then would easily take out Kunshi, and Dispo would go into his light speed mode, which would push Kefla back until she would unleash her lethal attack she used against UI Goku, and this would badly damage Dispo, so Toppo would stop his battle with Hit and would get Dispo to retreat with Jiren. Kefla gets pissed by this, and now the second half of the Tournament of Power has begun. As the Tournament of Power moves into the second half, Gohan and Videl would battle the Namekians until they would retreat. By the second half, Tien, Kami, and Krillin would be eliminated. Piccolo would use a clothes beam on Vegeta to repair his armor, and as Vegeta is fighting a cop, 3 robots appear with Vegeta taking out the cop. Vegeta would try to replicate Ultra Instinct, but wouldn't be able to since he wouldn't understand it. As Vegeta faces the robots, Turbo joins with his brother. Gohan, Videl, and Piccolo would be facing the fighters of Universe 2, with the fighters of Universe 2 getting aid from the sidelines. The three would then go on to make up a show, with Gohan and Videl saying that they're the great Saiyan Man and Saiyan Woman, with Piccolo saying that he's the great Namekian Man. The three would battle it out, with the three getting caught in the pretty black hole. Gohan would power up into his Super Saiyan Rage and fire a Kamehameha, destroying the attack. Videl and Piccolo would join Gohan, and they would be able to break through the pretty black hole, eliminating the fighters and taking out another universe. Vegeta and Turbo would soon enough take out the three robots until they'd be saved by Dr. Pepperoni, and would become the abomination known as Aniranza. The Universe 6 and 17 would team up to take on Aniranza, while of course, Universe 11 would be watching from the sidelines. Kefla would attempt to go in, but Aniranza would snatch her up and throw her through many pillars. Videl and Cabba would sacrifice themselves to save Gohan and Kefla, who would be bickering with each other. Meanwhile, during the fight, Piccolo would be eliminated due to a sightless fighter. Aniranza would soon enough grow its wings and ascend to the sky, where it would charge up its last attack. Goku, Vegeta, Turbo, Trunks, Hit, Kefla, and Gohan would then fire out an attack to counter the beast. With them all going full power, they would eliminate Aniranza and the rest of Universe 3. After they take out Aniranza, Hit would then begin to get progressively attacked by an unknown source. That is until he'd use his time skip to find the unknown fighters of Universe 4, and they would be eliminated, with their universe being erased. It all comes down to 3 universes remaining, with Hit, Vegeta, and Jiren staring off with each other, with the others waiting in suspense, and in Goku's case, excitement. Hit would then walk to Vegeta's side, and would say that in order for him to keep his universe safe, he needs to take out Jiren. I see past your trick, but we'll allow it just this once. Let's get this over with. Vegeta would then power up into Super Saiyan Blue and charge at Jiren, with Hit joining his side. Goku and the others would divide themselves up to face the other 2 Pride Troopers, as well as Kefla. For getting in her way before, Kefla would immediately target Gohan, and Trunks would assist him. Back with Vegeta and Hit, Jiren wouldn't suppress himself as much anymore from before, as he has never fought against Hit's time skip, and would begin to have trouble with it, as Vegeta would be able to counter most of Jiren's attacks. Goku meanwhile would be fighting against Toppo in his Super Saiyan 3, and would have a hard time because of Toppo's enormous size. Turbo would know better not to get in between his brother's fight, so to aid his brother, he would try his best to take out Dispo. Toppo would then reveal his full power, with Goku powering up into his Super Saiyan 4. Turbo would begin to feel overwhelmed by Dispo's Lightspeed mode, and would get pushed to the corner of the arena. Turbo would almost be eliminated if he hadn't thought of everything he could lose. In that moment, Vegeta's little brother would ascend into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Goku and Toppo would then begin to battle again, with Goku beginning to get the upper hand on Toppo. Toppo would see this fight as a drag-on, and so to try and end it, he would fire his full-powered attack towards Goku, with Goku unleashing his ×10 Kamehameha. Toppo's power would be almost unrivaled, with Goku beginning to lose footing until he would power up into his full-powered Super Saiyan 4, and he would knock out Toppo. Goku would then look up into the stands and would promise Toppo that if he'd win, he'd bring back all the universes so then they could fight once again. Toppo would be surprised by this, as he believed Goku to be just another one just like Vegeta, with his pride interfering with their judgments, but Goku would give him hope. Gohan and Trunks would begin to struggle against Kefla, as her rage would continue to fuel her power. Goku would then arrive, as he'd see the two struggling and would get an idea. He powers up and kicks Kefla away, and gives his Utara from Elder Kai to the two. Gohan and Trunks would be confused, but Goku would assure them that they'd be fine. Gohan and Trunks would put on the Utara and fuse into Gohanks. Back with Vegeta and Hit, the two would begin to refine their teamwork, and Hit would begin to look for his ultimate opportunity to use his time cage. Vegeta would power up into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, and would begin to have Jiren struggle, with Hit then using his time skip against Jiren, which would finally injure Jiren. Hit would then use this opportunity with a stunned Jiren to fire off his attack, which would hit Jiren, and Jiren would be stuck in the time cage. Hit would then yell to Vegeta to end Jiren, with Vegeta not taking a second away to fire off a final flash. Jiren would then scream as he would power up into his full power and break away the two attacks. As Cabba would witness his new power, he would see that he wouldn't have enough strength to push Dispo off, until Goku would arrive and heal him. Goku would then begin to confuse Dispo as he'd create Kachikachin to throw at the speedster. This would give Cabba the ultimate opportunity to land a fearsome blow on Dispo that would knock Dispo straight out of the arena. Back with Gohanks, Kefla would be glad that she finally had a chance to really let loose, and Gohanks would be surprised to watch her transform into a Super Saiyan 3. Gohanks would then smirk, as he'd know about the power struggle of Super Saiyan 3, and he would power up into a Super Saiyan 2 himself. The two would then clash, with Kefla overpowering Gohanks' attacks, but with the aid of his wife and master cheering him on, he would power through the attacks and would continue to fight. Gohanks would notice that Kefla would begin to become tired, and would take advantage of that and power up into his highest form, Super Saiyan God, and he would eliminate the fusion with a burning Kamehameha. Kefla would defuse from this, and Hit would notice, but tell the two good job. At this time, everyone would group back together to watch as Jiren would unleash his full power. Everyone would be surprised to see this, and would shake a little bit of fear. Hit would be pissed that his plan didn't even work, and would jump in immediately with the others following him to assist. Gohanks would try to take the lead, as they would have been the higher fighter. Goku would heal the injured, as Jiren would push them back ruthlessly. Vegeta would try to charge up an attack, but every time he would, Jiren would knock him down. Jiren would start to get overwhelmingly furious, and would begin to take out the fighters, with Tarble going out first. Goku and the others would begin to lose hope, as Jiren would attack wildly, and Vegeta would be pissed that he wouldn't be strong enough to help him finish Jiren. Hit would then smirk, as he would do one final act. Hit would look towards Vegeta and give Vegeta his remaining energy. Hit would attempt to take out Jiren, but Jiren would easily break through any attack, and before he would be eliminated, he'd tell Vegeta that they believe in him, and Vegeta would witness how Universe 6 would be gone. Vegeta would fall to his knees, as he would watch Goku and Gohanks begin to struggle, as they would power up to their full powers, but nothing would work. Vegeta would then begin to feel dread, anger, sadness, and most of all, regret. Vegeta would then look up to his mentor, Whis, who would merely just nod. Vegeta would finally understand. Pride wouldn't win this battle. He would need to go deeper. Goku and Gohanks alongside Jiren would then notice how Vegeta would begin to have the same glow in his eyes and the heat from his body. Vegeta would then open his eyes and would charge straight forward at Jiren in Ultra Instinct Omen. Jiren would catch his punch and would try to counter, but he'd miss. Goku and Gohanks would then back up to feel Vegeta's overwhelmingly calm power, and Vegeta would begin to adapt as he would close his eyes so his instincts could take over. Vegeta continues to adapt as Jiren begins to actually tire out, until Jiren would unleash one final attack to knock Vegeta out, but Goku and Gohanks at their full power would counter with their own attacks. As they hold back Jiren's last attempt to win, Vegeta collects all of the surrounding heat he gathered from his adapting instincts. Once Vegeta finishes, he fires his own blast, and the three would then finally finish off Jiren. Before they finish off Jiren, Goku would notice how Vegeta's hair would flicker silver, maybe indicating that there was more to this Ultra Instinct. Vegeta would then pass out, with Goku healing him and Gohan and Trunks would defuse from overexhausting their energy. Zeno would then allow Goku, his new friend, to make the wish, and Goku wishes for all of the universes to be brought back. Whis and Beerus then congratulate the team and would thank Vegeta for recruiting Goku. This one was pure. Whis would acknowledge Goku's amazing talent, and in exchange for helping them, he tapped his halo away, with Gohan instantly jumping onto Goku, as he would begin to cry as his father was finally back to life. Vegeta would also smirk, with Zeno then going up to Vegeta and asking, will he be back? Vegeta would then look down to his little blue friend and give him a thumbs up. And with that, we can end off this story for right now.